I thought I wasn't going to see my friends again.
These children at Minster Junior School were only in year 1 during the first lockdown, but the impact is still vivid.
It was actually a very hard time for me to cope with. Maybe when you're at home, you might not have a place to actually study properly, because maybe you're on the living room table and you're watching the teachers teach.
I couldn't really go outside, and that's a big thing you miss when you're young children.
We couldn't have class discussions or have break time and play with our friends.
Did you miss your teachers during that time?
100%.
Appearing at the COVID inquiry for a second time, Boris Johnson, who was ultimately responsible for the decision to close schools, had plenty of regrets.
I had a personal horror, as I've said, of closing schools. I thought it was a nightmare thing to do. Children who were not particularly vulnerable to COVID, were paying a huge price to protect the rest of society.
Schools first closed in March 2020. From June, they reopened in phases, but GCSEs and A-levels were still cancelled that summer. Then in January 2021, schools shut again and exams were abandoned for another year, replaced with a system of predicted grades that Boris Johnson admitted failed kids.
Your criticisms are valid. All I would say is that, you try coming up with a system to give a fair exam result for people when they can't sit exams. It's not easy.
In a message about the fiasco to his then advisor Dominic Cummings, he fumed, "We need better ministers. I'm thinking of going into number 10 and firing people." This was Boris Johnson's last appearance before the COVID inquiry, but before he left, in a key line, he questioned whether measures like closing schools really had been the right tool to use to save lives. Looking back, he said, "I'm not certain, but at the time, it seemed like the only option." Shame on you! Leaving to shouts from some of those whose families were devastated by COVID. That's the question hanging over this inquiry. Which of the painful measures the country endured were worth the terrible trade-offs and should be imposed when a pandemic hits again? Romilly Weeks, ITV News.